Microsoft 365 Copilot will automatically enable Anthropic's Claude AI. How do we balance these features that folks seem to want along with the privacy concerns?
I wonder if we asked AI what AI would want us to do.
Are you sure?
You sure about that?
I kind of want somebody here to do that while Travis is talking.
I think it knows we're talking about it because I tried to load ChatGPT and I just get an error message that says content failed to load repeatedly.
Nice try, but my head was built with paradox-absorbing crumple zones.
The rise of MDEP Copilot gets Claude AI and major layoffs in the UK. All that and more, next on AV Week. This is AV Week, episode 747, recorded Friday, December 12th, 2025. One size doesn't fit all. This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of the biggest news and stories in the AV and the IT world. We have Microsoft updates, layoffs, and an acquisition. I know you're shocked about that. Let's get into it. Our first story comes out of the UK channel, where distributor Exertis has sent shockwaves through the industry. Exertis UK has announced a proposal that could result in more than 1,000 job cuts, or 90% of their workforce. The move follows a recent ownership change and is part of a large-scale restructuring effort. A formal consultation process is now underway, expected to last up to 45 days. During that time, the final scope of the cuts will be determined. Now, industry reaction has been swift, with many pointing to the potential ripple effects across UK distribution, integration partners, and vendor relationships. Beyond the numbers, this development raises broader questions about consolidation, margin pressure, and long-term stability in the AV and the IT chain. Next, a major acquisition in the digital out-of-home advertising space. Broadsign has announced the acquisition of Place Exchange, a programmatic advertising platform focused on out-of-home media. The move strengthens Broadsign's position in the growing programmatic DOOH market by combining its ad serving and content management capabilities with Place Exchange's tools for planning, buying, and reporting. For AV professionals, especially those working in large venues, transportation hubs, retail environments, and smart cities, this deal signals continued investment in data-driven signage and advertising ecosystems. Broadsign says that the combined platforms will make it easier for advertisers to plan and activate campaigns across global networks, while operators gain improved monetization and operational insight. Place Exchange's leadership and team will remain with the company as the integration moves forward. Microsoft is rolling out a new Teams feature focused on security, and it puts more power directly in the hands of users. Microsoft Teams now includes a capability that allows users to flag calls they believe are unusual or suspicious. When a call is reported, that signal is sent back to Microsoft, where it helps strengthen security systems and reduce future unwanted or potentially malicious call activity. A complete side note, if Apple and Android can figure out to do this, that would be fantastic. This update is designed to support real-time threat detection and gives end users a simple way to participate in protecting their organization. Now, rather than relying solely on automated systems, Microsoft is leaning into user awareness as another layer of defense. For IT and AV teams managing collaboration platforms at scale, this feature adds a practical tool to help address growing concerns around phishing, social engineering, and voice-based attacks in unified communication environments. Turning to display technology, a new LED product is pushing into immersive territory. KLT has debuted what it is calling the world's first sound-transparent, passive 3D LED screen. Now, unlike traditional LED displays, which often block audio or require speakers to be placed around the screen, this design allows sound to pass directly through the display surface, which that's more in line with traditional movie theater designs and acoustically transparent material. The result is more accurate audio placement, especially in environments where realism and immersion matter. The system also supports passive 3D viewing, meaning audiences can experience depth without complex active systems. This combination opens up potential applications in simulation, themed environments, museums, and experimental spaces where visual impact and precise audio alignment are critical. Now, while this technology will likely live at the premium end of the market, it highlights where LED innovation is headed, blending acoustics, visual, and spatial experience into a single form. Our final story today focuses on collaboration technology and a firmware update from Sennheiser. Sennheiser has released firmware version 1.3.8 for its Team Connect bar solutions, bringing improvements to camera performance, audio handling, network stability, and security. The update also enhances Dante audio output support and reduces system wake-up times, making the bars more responsive in day-to-day use. Alongside the firmware release, Sennheiser is hosting an online seminar titled, quote-unquote, Elevate Your Meeting Rooms. Now, this is designed to walk users through what's new and how the updates can improve hybrid meeting spaces for AV and IT teams managing meeting rooms across corporate and education environments. These incremental updates reflect a continued focus on reliability, flexibility, and long-term performance rather than flashy feature additions. That's your AV news for the week. Stick around for this week's roundtable, where we will look at MDEP and more IT and UC security. This is AV Week.
Hey listeners, it's your AV sneakerhead, Jennifer Weaver. Listen to AV Career Masterminds, where I chat all things job-related in the audio-visual industry. You can find AV Career Masterminds where you subscribe to podcasts.
All right, welcome back. Now we bring in our fantastic roundtable with us to discuss the news and information we have gathered this week. First and foremost, Bren Walker from Kierkegaard. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you again. And happy holidays and congrats on the Bears.
Happy holidays indeed. As we're recording this, Bren may not be saying that on Monday when we release this, but as we're recording this, they're playing the Bears.
I will still be saying it on Monday because you're a long-suffering Bears fan, and I have compassion for long-suffering sports fans. Okay?
All right. I will take that. We will see what happens in the next 3 weeks, because that'll really determine. Also with us is BC Hatchett. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tim. Happy to be back, sir. Thank you.
Good to see you. And a brand new gentleman that we got to meet not too long ago is Mr. Travis Cawthorn from Kramer. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I hope to also, feel a Bears win on Sunday, being a Bears fan myself. So
excellent.
It's been a bit of a fairy tale season, maybe a little bit unexpected, but we'll take what we can get.
Amen, brother. We will take what we can get. And I will say this, and I know that we're recording, and Mitchell can cut this up and play this back to me if it doesn't go this way. I know that they lost to the Packers. I understand that. I will say this out loud. I think they're going to beat the Packers at home. That is my prediction. So, and then just, I don't know, first or second round. I have no idea about the playoffs at this point. All right. We're talking about technology, actually. This first story comes to us from Rave Pubs. HP has announced plans to integrate the Microsoft device ecosystem platform. For the rest of this, I'm going to refer to this as MDEP, across its Poly HP collaboration hardware portfolio, including video conferencing systems, IP phones, room controllers, and scheduling displays. Now, this strategic move, according to HP, aims to deliver more consistent and seamless Microsoft Teams experience, improve device security, and simplify management tasks for IT administrators. Okay. One of the things that HP hopes is that it streamlines certification process, accelerate innovation, and unify device deployment. Bren, we are going to start with you on this. One of the things that I'm watching, quite frankly, over the last 6 months-ish, as MDEP has been released to the public and started being promoted, is Microsoft kind of pushing it more and more. HP/Poly is the latest company to jump on board on this. When you look at this from an overarching design standpoint, you look at it as somebody who absolutely helps integrations get deployed across the world. How do you expect this integration to affect device deployment and, quite frankly, to affect the customer's use case and the customer's daily use once you, the consultant, and the integrator and everybody else leaves the campus?
My dog just barked the way I feel about this.
He's got an opinion too.
As a designer, we're very agnostic, right? So
Yeah.
if the client is a Teams campus, then we're going to work with that. If the client is undecided, we're going to help them accept Zoom. It ultimately, I understand what all of these plays are about in terms of market competition. But I think that it actually could have the effect of driving people to the competitor. Unless you are a campus that has completely bought into Teams and along the decision-making hierarchy of your organization, everyone is in. Or someone who's very high up is saying, we're here because of this. And like it or not, this is where we're going to be, right? So otherwise, I think most of the people that I talk to, if they had a choice, would not want to have such a stack that they depend on that is so completely wedded to one company that does not do a good job with UX and UI as a rule.
BC, I'm actually going to pull something I read this week. Boom Collaboration did a report this week where they kind of highlighted the 5 or 6 things that they see coming down the pipeline for the next year, 2026, right? One of the things they said kind of leans into a little bit what Brent said, and that is the increasing capabilities or the increasing popularity of bring your own meeting, meaning that MDEP may, if they're right, would have a lesser effect or a lesser impact. As somebody who manages an entire campus, what do you see the impact of this being, the MDEP and the kind of ubiquitous of that platform and that push by Microsoft? Where do you see that? How do you see that impacting your campus and your support?
So it makes me nervous anytime you have a manufacturer that is mandating, hey, you have to use this protocol or that protocol. That honestly scares the hell out of me, because you're one, like we saw with the great chip shortage, you're one supplier falling on their face from everything collapsing, or at least putting the hard brakes on your innovation. You were talking about how bring your own meeting is a way around it, and that's actually what we do on campus now. Like, we don't have a lot of MTRs, we don't have a lot of Zoom rooms. We've pretty much standardized on a USB connection. Everybody already knows how the applications work on their laptops. They can bring in, connect in, and we don't have to worry about trying to set up a room and then trying to set somebody up to connect to the room as well with their machine to share content. Kind of like Bren said, agnostic. That's what we push with our connection protocols on campus. We want to enable the users to use their own devices and use what they're comfortable with, so we minimize any kind of learning curve whatsoever when they're trying to give their presentations or their meetings.
Travis, wrap up here. Obviously, Kramer's a manufacturer, but talk for a second about how, from a manufacturing standpoint, you kind of see this playing out as Microsoft pushes more and more for MDEP, and you, as well as other AV manufacturers, are tasked with making sure MDEP works with your devices and make sure that they are able to send signals, whether that's video, camera, or video to the display, as well as audio. How do you see this coming down?
Yeah, at least here from a Kramer standpoint, we have a Microsoft Teams room offering and they actually happen to all be Android-based operating systems. So I think the biggest thing, and you guys hit it a little bit, is how is that end user experience going to be? That's what it's going to come down to. Of course, you could always, throw in cost as an option to the end user as well. But, if it's one of those things where, how is it going to be, well accepted in the market? Is it going to be well deployed? Are there hurdles people are going to have to jump through? I'm sure there are, especially from a manufacturing standpoint. But, also, also at Kramer, if we, want to do that Teams room experience, we can, but, like BC was saying, like some people just want to bring in their own device. I mean, people want ease of use, simple, straight to the point. They don't want something getting in the way, of their class, like you guys have, Vandy there, BC. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how it all plays out. But again, I don't think people like their hand being forced by any means.
I would 100% agree with that, which actually leads us into our next story, which is from UC Today. This show can pretty much be called Microsoft as far as Mitchell's concerned. Microsoft 365 Copilot will automatically enable Anthropic's Claude AI. Now, here's the thing, really quickly before I continue this is in addition to their already existing partnership with ChatGPT and OpenAI. Microsoft is a large investor in OpenAI, have been for a number of years. First iteration of good Lord, I just totally blanked on this, of Copilot involved the connection with OpenAI. I am going to be interested to see how this additional AI kind of works into that. One of the things, though, is this is a shift from the current opt-in model that folks are required when you're using alternative AI models. Now you don't have to. According to the article, Anthropic will operate as a Microsoft sub-processor, simplifying compliance workflows for many organizations. BC, anytime we talk about AI on this program, we talk about privacy. And public institution, looking college, obviously you guys have got a number of different regulations and laws that you guys have to contend with. How, as an organization, do we balance AI features, which a whole lot of people kind of like and want and getting used to now, with privacy concerns that are absolutely legitimate and valid?
So it's, that's a delicate balancing act, right? Like you were saying, people want to be able to use these tools. I think we just have to have, a ton of user education on this front. Like people have to know what is and is not okay to incorporate into these AI tools. Like you don't want to upload sensitive data and try to tell it to model it whenever that's something that's, classified for institutional use only. The whole AI revolution, I will admit, I am a little bit behind the eight ball on some of it because it's just every time you turn your head, there's a new AI model coming out or a new AI feature, or you just see the word AI branded on something. It's still kind of a little bit of the Wild West, and taking those proper precautions with your data, as you should with any kind of data, I think is the cornerstone of a good strategy.
Travis, same kind of question is when you're looking at this, not just from a company standpoint, but advising your clients and your customers, how do we balance these features that folks seem to want along with the privacy concerns?
I wonder if we asked AI what AI would want us to do.
Hang on, I kind of want somebody here to do that while Travis is talking, but
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I think it'd be a fun, for sure. I would love to hear what ChatGPT or Copilot or all those platforms would say. But no, I mean, even any sensitive information. I mean, you got to be careful what you put out there, regardless. And it is moving so fast. I mean, you have people that sometimes really have used a lot of AI in their normal day-to-day tasks, their work, email, help me draft up, this summary. But again, the more and more you put out there, it's storing that somewhere, right? It's the internet. So you kind of have to be careful what might come back to haunt you potentially. But, I think you have to have good compliance, especially from a company standpoint of what is, speaking about Copilot in particular, because it is new, with AI being fairly new, at least within Copilot, you would hope that sensitive information is staying within your, say, Microsoft tenant. But, we'll kind of see how that all plays out again, because information is getting stored somewhere regardless. It's just how secure is that information, especially from a company, privacy standpoint.
I think it knows we're talking about it because I tried to load ChatGPT and I just get an error message that says content failed to load repeatedly. So
No, it's the data center that went down in North Carolina because of power.
Right.
All right, Bren, how do we balance this?
Let me just say that I think the critical thing in that piece is the recognition that one model does not do it, right? And if you're actively, I'm actively working coding using AI, and I choose different models depending on what I need to do. So individuals have already been doing this, and this is actually a smart move on Microsoft's part because it is doing at the enterprise level what people are already doing at the individual level in terms of multiple models. The challenge that they have is the same challenge we have around copyright and privacy. There is no global regime. So this is not a global choice. The differences between UK, Europe, and what we do in North America, which is what is driving the whole opt-in, whether or not you're opted in or not, you can't be opted in those countries that have more strict privacy policies. So if I have a global product and my customers are everywhere, which if I'm online, pretty much my customers are everywhere, then this causes issues for me, right? Because it means my European clients all of a sudden need to see something different. So there's that. The thing that I wonder about is, how does Google respond to this, right? Does Google say, we're going to also go into this where you can have multiple models? Or are they going to say, nope, we're going to bet on our model only, and we're going to stay focused on our model? So that ground is the loosest part, I think. And it's okay that it's still like this, and hopefully it will stay like this, and we won't be in a situation where I'm not concerned about AGI and there being one winner. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we need multiple players, right? And we'll soon see as this is rolled out what it means for people in terms of what they choose to do.
Do you think that this edition is Microsoft acknowledging or admitting that there's not going to be one winner?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because look at all the money that's gone to OpenAI for ChatGPT.
Oh, billions.
Well, and how many users do they have? How many paid users does ChatGPT have? Does anybody know? 800,000.
I would have thought that would have been way higher, to be honest.
Me too.
That's nothing for something that has had global attention for months and months and months and months, and was
for 3 years. We just passed the 3-year mark. Yeah.
800,000. So, you can't be in business on that when you're taking in billions. And some of those billions are just going around in a circle. It's like NVIDIA is giving billions to OpenAI. OpenAI is then spending billions on NVIDIA chips, and Microsoft is giving. I mean, it's
a little bit like what is the snake that ate its own tail?
Yeah, the serpent that eats its own tail. It's sort of there. It's sort of there. I think this is a good thing in terms of the recognition that people need to think about more than one model. If you've only got one in your life and you're using AI, just try the others to see. And I'll tell you, I keep getting up here in Canada, I keep getting all kinds of free offers for these services because they're all everybody's looking at ChatGPT and realizing 800,000, that's not a business, right? No. So how do we get more people? Because until you get more people actually using it seriously, the free riders are not helping you develop your language model anymore. They don't help you. The way that they use what they're given in terms of access isn't going to help that model evolve. It's the paid users that are going to help the model evolve by the depth of what they're doing. And if you have less than 1 million out of 7.5 billion people in the world, half of whom have smartphones, you're not winning, right?
No.
So,
Well, and at this point, I don't think any of them are winning. In that, with that definition, I don't think any of them are winning.
No, right? I mean, the ones that are, at this point, being inside Google, that model has the best chance, right? Because of the breadth of Google and its ability to do what it needs to do to develop AI without having outside investment per se, right? Like they can make all of those plays internally on their own without having to disclose necessarily to anyone what they're doing and how they're doing it. OpenAI, they've got quarterly conversations where they have to talk about what they're doing and being responsive to all that money that they got, right? So more models, the better. And I think as we'll start to see smaller players that are doing things more specialized. It's just still so early.
Yeah, very much.
But not a reason not to jump in is what I'll say.
Brent, I think I just learned more about all the AI ecosphere in the past 3 minutes than I have in the past 3 years trying to learn about it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've shed some blood on those tracks, BC. Let me just put it that way.
That she has. And her and I have had some long conversations about it. One of the things, there's two things here, really quickly. I have never been shy about advising people to listen to other podcasts. There's one called Acquired. I will warn you first and foremost, it is a 4-hour podcast. So if that's not your jam, do not download it. It is the only podcast I listen to that is 4 hours, and it's on a monthly basis. But they did an episode about Google. It goes to the history of companies. This latest one was on Coca-Cola. It was fascinating. But they did one on Google's AI trajectory. And I learned a couple things. Number one, Google's been talking about this and doing this since early 2000. Like they are, people don't realize this, they're the granddaddy of this, right? Sam Altman came from Google, right? So a lot of the papers and the theories came out of Google in the early 2010s, late 2000s, and they just kind of slow rolled it. A little bit what Bryn was saying, though, because they don't have a whole lot of people to answer to when it comes to this thing. So they've kind of been very careful about how they've done their flavor and their version of AI. Now, folks who have left Google, they've learned the AI stuff, they've left the company. It feels a little bit like the Cowboys left the kind of their origins, and they're out here being Cowboys, right? And Google's still going, just kind of plodding along, being Google, right? But as somebody, and this is my 2 cents, this is Tim's opinion, nobody else's. As somebody who has used an awful lot of platforms, I find Google's Gemini to be underwhelming. When I compare it to Claude, which I do, I pay for Claude and I pay for ChatGPT. I'm one of the 800,000. But I've also used, visual ones. I've used coding ones, and I just don't know. I don't know if it's just not my jam. May not be how my brain works. I've just never been a big fan of Gemini, and I did pay for it for a couple of months just to give it the same kind of the kind of trial as I have the other ones. I don't know.
Well, I think that, there's evaluating them based on the chat feature is one way to look at them, right? Okay. But that's just what's put in front of the public, because that's what could be commercialized. So at the same time that Google was doing their AI work, there was the Allen Institute for AI in Seattle, right? Paul Allen separated that from Microsoft so that they could develop without any sort of conversation around what's going on with Microsoft stock or any of that stuff. And the things we're seeing with ChatGPT, I saw at the Allen Institute in 2007 and 2008, right? Okay. So if you look beyond just what the chat bot does, and you start to think about what the other uses are besides I'm asking a question and getting an answer, I think that there are some advantages to Gemini from that point of view. right? But
Okay.
the Chaplain point of view is really just about what is your jam, like which one feels better for you. You know, I use AI for search. Perplexity for me is the one when it comes to search.
Yeah.
Other tools that I use are not the language models, chatbots directly at all, but products that have been built using those models, using various models, and this developer has chosen for me which model to deploy based on what part of their application I'm using. So then I'm not thinking about it because they've already thought about it, and they're trying to optimize this product that they want me to use that is using various language models.
I wonder of the people that are using some form of AI, you know, whether it's Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, all the others, how many of them are they just asking the questions, you know, looking up information versus being like an actual power user? Because I would almost bet, you know, that number's got to be maybe even cut in half.
Oh, lower than that.
Because some people, yeah, because I would think people just don't really know the full potential. But, you know, it's moving so fast these days that, yeah, I don't know, just kind of interesting to think about.
I think it probably follows the 90-10 rule, right?
Yeah.
Where the power users are 10% and 90% are the people who are, you know, riding the surface.
They're not paying for the pro version.
No, they don't need it. They don't even need to,
No.
right?
All right, y'all. Thank you so much. BC Hatchett from Vanderbilt. How do people connect with you, sir?
Absolutely. They can find me on X at BC Hatchet and also on LinkedIn.
Bren Walker, thank you, ma'am. How do people connect with you or Kierkegaard?
Bren at Kierkegaard.com. I'm on LinkedIn even less now than I used to be, I have to say. But I do try to check it once a month.
Travis, thank you so much, sir. How do people connect with you or Kramer?
Yeah, thank you so much. You can certainly reach out to me at my LinkedIn profile or tcawthorne at kramerav.com or check out Kramer AV's website for any of your audio video needs.
All right, very good. And they will be at ISE here in about, good Lord, 6 weeks. I think that's the timeline, the countdown I saw the other day. So my name is Tim Albright. Do not follow me anywhere on the socials because I will be either complaining or celebrating the Bears. If you want to read something that I write that has nothing to do with technology, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. That is one place you can do it. But go by the website, please, avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv. You will find this program and a host of others. If you are watching this and you are tired of seeing my really loud shirt that it was called Loud earlier today, you can just go listen to us anywhere you get your podcast. And if you want to see said loud shirt, you can watch us on YouTube. But either way, check us out, but go by the website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. That's all the time we have for AV Week.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Hi, this is Jennifer Goodyear
and Erica Carroll
from the Women in AV podcast, where we are encouraged by the incredible stories of women in AV.
Listen in on fun, empowering conversations as we chat with inspiring women, breaking barriers and creating their own path in the industry.
Check out Women in AV on avnation.tv or wherever you get your podcasts.